on to Roll20.
Good evening, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It did. It did it again. I bet it's
no.
working. There we go. Sorry, you guys didn't hear my lovely intro, but that's all right. You got to hear Prim, and that's all that really matters. Thank you for the sub there, Debbie. Yeah, no, it defaulted again rather than going to my actual microphone.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just gonna have to go into Windows and set it as my default, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so.
God, having to do tech stuff. Ugh. But here we are once again, back in Stonebridge. Exciting things happening. Anyone want to clue us in?
Sure. I'll take a stab at this one. I don't usually write the intros for Cairne, but you know.
Yeah, Mike's yours.
All right. So we started last session where a second murder, had just happened in the morning. Hold on 1 second.
And then y'all had breakfast and stew and had a lovely shopping afternoon.
Sorry about that. I had to mic stuff with Jacob. Anyways.
You're good.
So, yeah, a second murder had just happened, and we had walked over to check out the murder scene, but as with the first one, we couldn't really get inside to investigate it all that much. I think listener was able to take a bit of a peek to see if there were any spirits inside, because he was able to see through a bit of the open door, if I remember correctly. But we couldn't get much information. It just looked gruesome with bloody claw marks outside of the door of the house. So we were just like, well, nothing we can do with, like, you know, all of Stonebridge's people inside investigating the scene. So we went back to Hammerspark, where the leader of the Hyverstedians very politely informed us that if we didn't find out who the murderer was, he was going to kick us out of Stonebridge. Because all this shit only started happening whenever we got into town. So we decided to go back to the houses once they were, you know, cleared of Hyverstedians and other, like, higher up officials to, you know, see if we can investigate some things on our own. And with the combined abilities of Belethir and Listener in the first house, we were able to figure out that the man who had gotten murdered was really, really trying his hardest to impress someone shortly before he died, which several of us were able to kind of suss out that it was some sort of charm or something. Don't know the means by which it happened, but we knew that, you know, there was some enchantment at work. So then we went over to the second house, since it was by then cleared out of everyone, and we were able to get more information. Listener and Belethir again used their combined mights, and we were able to get a lot of information off of the covering of the front door, because the couple who was murdered there, one of them in particular really, like, grabbed on hard to that banner that was over the door. So what we were able to find out from there, or from that, I should say, was the murder had some, from what we could see, which, wasn't a whole lot of detail, but it was enough. Murder had glowing orange eyes and blood-stained blonde hair, which was sus. So, Listener shared this information with everyone as he figured it out, and we were already, like, a little sort of suspicious at Aisling by this point. And Az took Aisling outside to distract her while we got a little bit of investigation into her done. I believe Belethir was trying to sneakily, like, cast a spell on her to figure out some information. But Listener had us all in, like, a mind link. We were all linked up. So we got to be privy to Aisling trying to convince Az to head down south with her, saying that she could get Az an audience with the Queen. And she mentioned some stuff about Cairne post-Blight that, from what we had heard of Aisling's story so far, from the first time we took her on the ORT and were talking to her, there was no way that she should have known any of this information. And Saoirse mentioned so over the mind link. Aisling figured out what was going on and tried to charm everyone that was on the link, which worked on everyone except for Az and Listener. And Az actually tried to restrain Aisling, but she was able to slip out of Az's arms. And where we left off at the last session, Aisling was going in for a bite on Azdruzhar's neck. So that's where we left off.
Indeed. Cliffhanger of cliffhangers. So
can you set the scene as far as what time of day it is, and are we all outside or inside right now?
So
late afternoon. Everyone is in the second murder house right now, inside of it, with the exception of Azdruzhar and Aisling, who are both outside.
Mm-hmm. You should see it on the map, Murder 2, with the little icon.
Is it overcast?
It's always overcast. It's this far north at this time of year. It barely gets below, or doesn't really get far beyond like dusk and dawn light, which is normal for the area. So, everybody but Az, I think it's just Az and Aisling still outside, right?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody else is actually inside the domed house of the couple that was murdered. Everybody but Az and who else was it that passed it? Listener?
Listener.
So everybody but Az and Listener just got hit with basically like a domination spell. All of you basically think that Aisling is just the sweetest, nicest, greatest person in the world and would never do anybody any harm. And so that's kind of where we left off. Are you good, Snack? Are you got any more questions?
Yeah, what is the duration of this spell?
There's no way of knowing.
There's no way of knowing.
It's been going for about 2.5 minutes so far.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
So yeah, Az outside. Are you still linked with Az and Listener? Or did you sever that?
Yes, I have not dropped the thought stream just yet, because, I need to know what's going on with Az. We're the last two.
All right. And yeah, you're pretty aware of the shift in mood.
Yeah, hopefully listener can blast us all with mental images of her trying to eat Az.
We're already seeing it because we're in the thought stream.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a technical question.
Okay.
The notification for promote yourself says Beneath the Mirror Darkly, episode 7, but this says the path less traveled. We're in the path less traveled in Roll20, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was like, wait, what? What are you looking at? Yeah, no, Roll20's...
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You actually threw me for a loop. That's a good one. All right, so... yeah, she was about to go in for something. It looked like a bite.
Yeah.
As you... Let's see. Did I roll for her attack? Yeah, let me look at the dice here.
You have not rolled an attack. The last roll that took place was her effortlessly breaking his very
yes.
high grapple.
That's right. That was the
Yeah.
bite of 87. Nice. All
It
right.
is now officially the year 87 of whatever local timekeeping is conducted in Cairn.
Which is actually something still needing to be worked on, so
Yeah.
Then we can really make it official.
then we can. All right, so here's what we'll do. As she breaks your grip, right?
I'm surprised. How?
Yeah, this tiny little whip of a thing, like, just easily broke out, right? And kind of looked at you. Her eyes light up this kind of orangey yellow, and she smiles this sanguine grin with her lips kind of going bright red. Could just be the cold, could just be something else, who knows? It's hard to tell. But with a movement that is faster than your eye can follow, it's like a blur happens. She's on you, right? I will let you try to contest her grabbing hold of you if you like.
Okay. I can't grapple her, but she can grapple me.
She's gonna try. She broke
Okay.
your grapple. You tried
did.
to, yeah.
I tried to break her back.
Yeah, you tried to squeeze her, and she basically pushed your arms aside like you were a little boy.
Oh. Okay.
Time for the heroic rolls.
So yeah, you're welcome to. All right.
That's a really good attempt.
It is. It is a very good attempt. Let me see here. So she will. Sorry, I'm looking at her sheet here. I'm still getting used to how this is set up. Some of this stuff is just crazy. All right, here.
The man who wrote it sits here and goes, man, some of this stuff is just crazy.
Oh, yeah, no, she... I rolled a 19. So, that's without her bonus. So, yeah, she brushes your attempt at defense aside. Actually snakes her arms up around behind you, up under your arms, and grabs you by the shoulders and
She's got the
wrenches you back.
underhooks.
Yeah, she wrenches you backward like that. To where you're actually kind of leaned back. This tiny little thing's like just pulling you backwards, standing in front of you, feet planted on the ground. And she's looking at you with this wicked grin.
This is
May I
embarrassing.
do a thing?
No, she's kind of gloating, I guess you could say.
So then I have time to do a thing.
Yeah, she's not attacking him or anything. She's just playing.
Alright, so they're just right outside the door, right?
Off to the side a little bit, but yeah, for the most part.
I would know exactly where they are as a result of I have Az's senses in the thought stream right now.
Of course.
I will abandon my attempts, basically, to persuade the rest of the party. And as much as an OM can rush, really, I'm going to rush out the door and then reach out and touch her on the back as she faces Az.
No. Okay. It's not a terribly long distance. So you want to just touch her on the back?
And do that.
Touch or telepathic allow. Alright, are you trying to force her?
It is force, and previously we have done it that telepathic connection is a contested, like, will thing.
Yeah.
Whereas touch just happens.
It brings up an interesting question. If we're all in the thought stream and he does the sight, what happens to...
He said you broke the connection with the group, though, right?
Oh.
I abandoned my attempts to persuade them. The thought stream still has another 3 rounds on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So basically,
you tell me how long rounds go. Yeah, we're not in initiative, obviously.
We can wing it with this particular instance. So you are still trying to force her, though, to see through your sight, because she's not going to let you willingly.
Yes, but as I said, in the past when we've done this, if I do it with touch, it doesn't get a roll.
Okay. All right.
Would be pretty confusing, though.
Yeah, do it.
Well, I'll tell you what. First off, give me a stealth roll to see if you can sneak up on her.
All right.
I'm not going to give you a disadvantage. Was it 18?
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to give you a disadvantage. All right. So yeah, she's focused on what she's doing, so she doesn't see you. I do still need you to make a touch attack, though.
Okay.
And since you have surprise, I'll give you advantage.
Well, I appreciate that too. Because my touch attack, it's, you might say, not so good.
You got this. Come on. Believe in yourself. You got it.
Everybody
She's
gets proficiency with
restrained.
their own touch attack, right?
Can
Yes, that's fun.
She's
Can't he also-
restrained. Come on.
just join the
Self-restrained
grapple?
counts.
Yo, he's already got advantage now.
Yeah, I can't get double advantage on it.
Aw,
Come on. Come on.
double
Come
advantage.
on. You can do this. Let's go.
21.
21.
Hey.
And again, it doesn't need to do damage. I just need to touch her.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
So, okay, yes. So you managed to kind of creep up at maximum OM speed and reach out with that gummy translucent hand and just brush her back, right?
Yes.
And you feel the push into her happen, into her cognitive state. And you see her head kind of jerk back. There's a surge of energy when you touch her. A nasty, like, void
that good?
energy.
That's not good.
No, this is lashing at you for 19 damage from the
Take
touch.
19 damage.
Yeah, you feel actually your life essence just suck out of your body where you touch her.
I needed that.
Yeah. It's surprising, but the transference happens, and you see her kind of jerk. Now, what happens next is a blur. She moves faster than anything you've ever seen.
As she runs into a wall.
I wish.
Well, she doesn't know where she's going. She's seeing through listener's eyes.
Yeah. So what I get disadvantage basically is that's
Oh,
all
yeah.
it gets.
No.
She's very powerful. She gets disadvantage on things.
Yeah.
What's happening is in her shock, she's going to hurl
What?
Into me. Oh no.
No, she's going to literally hurl him into the next building.
Oh, ow.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Ow.
Oof.
I don't have. Ow.
So
Can I?
So first, wait, hang on, real quick. First off, as you take 7 from the energy drain that hits both of you when listener touches her, then she hurls you. She's already got you in a grapple. She's just gonna throw you.
Oh, okay.
I would like to cushion that.
I think the sun
Well-
will help. You,
Can you cushion it?
Or
More importantly, would you?
yeah, you think she's like the greatest thing ever? You
Remember,
probably think
she's-
I'm an asshole or something.
she's not
Probably
attacking
rushing to her
as-
aid right now.
She's not attacking
No, she's
as.
just throwing him. It's fine.
But listener just
Really hard.
Listener just, and it's kind of debatable, but more or less just attacked her. She's lurching. She's reacting to being attacked.
This
He needed to be thrown, sure, but I don't know that that means he needs to take damage just because he tried and failed to grapple her. She didn't do anything wrong, right?
I'm gonna let you play your character.
Giving her a hug.
I'm gonna let you play your character. And like I said, in your mind, Aisling is the bee's knees right now.
Yeah,
But-
the bee's knees threw him. He deserved to be thrown, but he's also a member of the party and doesn't deserve to be hurt.
Okay. So tell me what you're gonna do to cushion the blow.
We're gonna whip out this thing. Push, drag, or lift. And then my where's my idiot button? Where's my idiot button? There's my idiot button. Nice. Right. I don't know how much ass weights though.
265.
Nice. I can easily grab him and just slow that down a little bit.
Okay. So, give me an intelligence check. It's all very quick.
Okay. Where is my character sheet?
We're branching into brand new territory here.
Hit save. Okay. Okay, we're gonna take a second. We're gonna really, really hope that my rolls this morning don't carry through to tonight.
You got this.
Okay, come on, come on. No whammies. Oh my god. Oh.
That was a low number.
No. No. No.
That number may not have been large enough.
It was not
Can I?
large enough.
Can I? Oh my god.
Alright, so Az goes flying, and it is a blur.
Oh my god.
Can we
Well, hang on.
so
Hang on real quick. As you take another 9 points of damage as you impact into the neighboring building, flesh on stone, you hit it hard. Like you're stunned for the next round. It knocked the wind out of you, and you're shocked that this little whip of a thing not only broke your grapple, brushed your attack aside, but also lifted you up and threw you across the street.
Yeah, it's a little embarrassing.
Jeez.
Yeah, Saoirse at this
Like,
point is
that's not
going.
supposed to happen. I'm the fucking supreme grandmaster of spring. That doesn't happen to me.
Yeah, Saoirse at this point is going to go up to the entrance, knock on the wall a bit, and peek her head out, and she's going to ask, "Is everything okay out here?"
It appears your translucent friend there is for some reason, attacking me.
The hell? Listener, what's wrong with you? Jeez.
Listener at the moment is reaching into his bag.
Well, it just seemed like listener just brushed his hand across you. I don't think he meant you any harm, Ashling. Why don't we go back to Hammerspark? I think we're done investigating inside of here. We need to sit down and go over the evidence that we have, that we figured out.
Hey, he's pushed some image into my mind without asking.
Isn't that how that dude talks?
No, this was not a conversation.
Oh.
He's forcing me to see things through his eyes. Speaking of, what are you looking at as you dig through your bag there?
I'm looking right back at her.
And is this just visual? Would she know? Yeah, she's perceiving the world through your eyes, which in listener's case is a little different.
It is a little different. Before we've kind of...
Would she know what you're digging for, is the question.
No, she would not. I don't have 360-degree perception or anything. We've always treated it as if I have some sort of forward-facing sensory apparatus.
Okay.
I don't have dark vision even, you know.
Okay.
But, I have an important question. It's going to be very, very essential in the next few seconds.
Okay, go ahead.
Wilhelm.
Yes.
That concoction you made for listener way back, was that a contact powder?
They're all made to be contact. It's meant to be a powder that, upon contact, interacts with the body, whether that's being inhaled or absorbed through the pores. Really, it just needs to get in physical contact, and the body will do the rest.
Is this the psychic?
This is
nullifier?
the telekill powder.
The
The psychic nullifier.
Okay.
Now, I've used it on listener, so it has to. You only have contact. You don't really have a anatomy to like
Yeah,
taste it or
no,
something.
it's... Theoretically, you could, like, inject it,
Yeah.
but it is a contact powder, and that's how it worked on me.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, go ahead. What are you doing? Let's.
I'm fishing that out of my bag, behind my back. I'm reaching for it.
Okay. Behind your translucent bag.
Yes, but it doesn't matter.
I'm just messing.
That's just where the bag is.
I'm just messing. Okay.
Can't hide nothing these days.
What have I got in my hand? Actually.
Heads or tails? Well, let me look. So while she is distracted, both by only being able to see through my eyes and this very convenient conversation with Saoirse, I'm pulling that out, I'm crushing the container in my hand, and I'm putting that hand alongside the other hand.
Okay. All right. So
My thought here is, best case scenario, it also works on her. Second best case scenario, it works on me and the site maintains while I'm in contact with her, so it basically just traps her in the limitless void with me. Worst case scenario, she was probably going to kill me anyway, so it's whatever.
Alright. So I'm gonna give her an action, if that's okay.
Hey, it's your game, bro.
Since you're kind of taking your time.
I was doing it while she was conversing, but whatever amount of time you think it takes.
Alright. Well, her action is a... It's not a physical one.
Oh, okay.
Alright. So, listener, and of course anyone else who wants to, perception rolls.
I love those. Wait a
I'd love to,
second.
but I am very knocked out for a moment.
Yeah, you're just stunned.
I'm staring at a wall that I just crashed into.
Yeah. You did hit pretty hard.
I have a feeling, just a vague suspicion, this is going to be the kind of perception roll that makes me have to do another wisdom save.
Would I do that?
Yes, you would. So... I would like to condition my perception roll.
Okay.
I will make it, but if I notice that she is turning her face towards me again, I look to the sky.
Okay.
Alright, so that's the condition of the perception roll.
Alright.
And there it is.
So, Belethir, Wilhelm, Genesis, and Listener, you notice, strangely, this circling conglomeration of flying creatures, ravens and bats, begin to whirl around overhead. And as you look around, small furried mammal-like creatures come up out of the snow and ice around you, rats and ermine and mink, and begin to kind of start circling around the scene.
Cool. Cool. I mean,
And-
as long as the bee's knees. I mean, this is just Snow White, right?
Yeah. Listener, this is relevant to you, of course, because you're a little more aware of what's going on.
Yes, I note that some forces are being marshaled against me, but...
Aisling,
Snow White shit. Just bird singing.
Aisling closed her eyes.
Closed her eyes.
Oh, bless her.
She closed her eyes, and she seems to be completely and intently focused on you, despite what's going on with her, what you did to her.
Well, she would have to be, you know.
I mean, she's
This is-
watching you, not you watching her. She's actually focused on you. Like, you get the sense that she's not as confused as she was.
Oh, well, that's as I would expect, really. Yeah, no. She is pulling the trickery here. I don't have the sight on them. I've only got the sight on one physical body here, so she's got the situation on lock now. Well, if that took her in action, let's hope this shit works.
Go ahead.
I would also like to do something.
What you got?
I'm gonna leave the hut toward Az, but I would actually like to use I'd like to treat myself with one of my herbs to give myself the ability to calm animals with pheromone.
Okay. They're not excitable. They're just circling. But
I don't know.
We'll keep it in mind that you have
I am
it.
now
Yeah,
producing a pheromone that calms animals.
just seeing Wilhelm. A little bit for me, a little bit for you.
Dr. Doolittle in this.
All right. So yeah, you ingest the herb or however it gets taken, and start moving towards Az.
Yep. I want to check on him.
All right. All right, listener.
1000% in character there. Alright, would you like me to make another touch attack?
Are you trying to throw it at her?
No, I'm just crushing it in my hand and putting that hand alongside the other one, which is already touching her.
Okay. Well, she whirled around and she broke that contact. But you'd already pushed the action into her. So
Yeah,
I was gonna let it just keep going without the constant touch.
I appreciate it. Well, then I need to follow through and get this powder on her. However you think I need to roll for that.
Okay. Your call. You have, we'll say maybe
I should
5
be
foot.
in melee
Yeah,
range.
you're in melee range. So you can try and do a touch attack. I'll even let you try and do like a lob to throw it at her if you want to do a ranged.
Can't. Well. Huh. This is a tough one. I mean, she's right there and it's a contact poison. Theoretically, if I just crush it and fling, it should get really good spread.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it while stepping in, so there's like the absolute least chance of her getting away. Basically, like, fling poison powder at her and body check.
Okay.
This is gonna suck so bad.
Let's see what you got.
Okay, 1 second. Have we a reroll?
I don't think we have any currently.
Shame.
All right. So,
Shame. I don't know if there should be different rules for flinging a poison that does not have to penetrate armor or anything like that, but that's all I got.
I can buy a reroll.
we'll give
Well-
we'll give her a flat foot.
Also, if I may,
Mhm.
this requires a con save, so keep that in mind before people buy money. Spend money to get rerolls.
Yeah. Also, so keep it. Also, she's wearing like clothes, so
Yeah.
she's not wearing armor or anything anyway. Her armor class is basically natural armor.
Oh, standard?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what her natural armor is. She's special.
Yeah, she.
But-
So basically, you what do you kind of just throw it out there?
Yeah, I've crushed the package, and I've got it in my hand, and I just do an arc with my hand to get a nice big spray of the powder right at her.
Okay. So, with a blur that kicks up just like this quick cloud of snow, she sidesteps.
She's too good.
And she's literally like standing next to you, watching the powder kind of disperse in the air casually.
Next to me, you say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she looks over at you with a grin and says, "Wow."
I keep the hand coming around. I go right for her face.
He's still going for it. All right. All right. Let's go for another touch attack. Listener's determined.
How's a 20 look?
20 will... Yeah, you touch her.
Now we're both fucked. This is gonna be great.
You are going to get another reaction to the touch.
I take my damage. Hit me.
All right. 14.
That
drained.
hurts.
So this was the powder hand?
This was the powder hand, yes.
All right. And the attempt was to nullify psychic abilities.
That is what the powder does, yes.
Okay.
My attempt was, I anticipate hopefully one of two reactions. The first is that she's trapped in the void with me. Now that she's seeing through the eyes of all of her animal companions, that may or may not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is hopefully this might nullify some of her psychic abilities, perhaps including any that may be operating upon my party.
Okay. The downside of this is she's using arcane abilities.
As is often the case.
Yes. So the psychic nullification won't cut through. Unfortunately. But
That's what I had.
the real question is, would that nullify your connection to her?
1000%.
Okay. So she's no longer trapped looking through your eyes, basically.
That's up to you. We never discussed exactly how the site works in this instance.
I feel like it would, but I'd be willing to discuss it if you have another opinion.
Well, the touch I figured might just be like an OM thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the OM have this default psychic communication, but that usually works over a distance. This one was enforced via touch, so I figured it might have a different mechanism. The other question, though, is her connection to her animal companion psychic or arcane?
It is also arcane.
Damn, she's fancy.
Yeah, she's entirely arcane. She has no psychic abilities. In fact, she's a psychic null point, which is why you couldn't communicate with her.
Minor question.
Mhm.
So obviously she blasted Listener with it when it touched her. Was there any visible? What did it look like? Was like there anything? Because I'm out there now.
It didn't do it. Like, he touched her. Actually, he basically hit her in the face and drew a hand back going, ow.
Okay, so there wasn't like an explosion of negative energy or anything, like a wave.
No, it's a life drain from touching her.
Okay, cool.
It's a reactive effect. She's nasty.
She is very dangerous. So,
And she's just playing with you right now.
So unless she is dragged down into the pit with me via the site, which would be very funny, but probably not stop her, given that she still has the arcane connection to the beasts. That's not only is that all I have, I'm no longer aware of any of this shit. As the thought stream goes down, I say, "Good night, my friends." And then I am in the quiet place.
Yes.
And I sit cross-legged on the ground.
Saoirse, like, after witnessing everything that's going on, Listener's ominous good night friends, and then sitting cross-legged on the ground, she's just going to pipe up and say, "Everyone, whatever's going on, I'm sure there's some sort of misunderstanding. Why don't we all just go back to Hammerspark and rest? I don't want to
feel
be
like I'm-
out here
I feel like I'm
anymore."
watching like a post-apocalyptic episode of Looney Tunes. Like, he just tried to grab her, she threw him, he touched her on the shoulder, she whaps him, and then he tries to slap her with this powder, and then it brings the hand back around.
Aisling is she's the epitome of no means no.
She brings the hand back around, slaps her, withdraws the hand. Ow! Good
I
night.
slapped her for 14 damage to me.
Window shut down noises.
So
And I think I'm the only one who knows what that powder was.
I don't know what just happened. He just chalk handed her and took a knife.
So Saoirse, in response to your suggestion, Aisling kind of grabs her cheek and kind of walks almost somberly over to you, and she slides a hand kind of around you, an arm around you, kind of pulls you close and nuzzles up against you with her head. And she says, "Oh, I'm not sure why your friend got so aggressive with me there.
I don't know either, but why don't we go talk this out and rest?"
Would you be willing to go for a wee walk with me? Just, I need to clear my head, and I think you might be the right one to go along with me. You'd understand more than anyone. We're practically sisters. Just a wee walk.
I don't know. I kind of just want to go back to Hammerspark, if that's okay.
Are you sure? I could use a song. Your songs always light me up.
I'm sure.
All right, then. Why don't you take him, she points at Listener, and him, and Az, and go on, and I think I'm going to go get some air along the wall, and I'll meet you there.
She pointed at everyone in the party, right?
Who?
Ashling.
She when she said take him and him, she pointed at Listener and Az.
I mean, what are the rest of us doing? We're there, right?
Yeah, you know, she meant take everyone, but they're the ones that kind of need to get picked up and taken. She's just implying that they may need help.
Ah,
Yeah.
eh.
Saoirse will
Yeah, now I'm
nod.
still in the hut.
Yeah, Saoirse will nod and say, "All right, if that's what you want, we'll meet you back inside." And Saoirse will help Az and Listener to their feet and lead everyone back inside to Hammerspark if they accept the help and want to follow her.
If
I got my bell rung pretty good. Yeah, I could have swore I got thrown into a wall.
I feel like you got it rung pretty well before. Like, both of you just lost it. What?
What? How
Hey.
don't you see it?
How don't I see what?
It's her.
What? Okay. Look, man. I was all on board with the whole Aisling is the Antichrist. But listen, she's actually the bee's knees. You don't understand. You
I
don't
mean-
understand.
As there's a few people in Hammerspark that have blonde hair, you think that maybe you could have just been a little spooked by the images that Listener saw whenever he read the spiritual energy and maybe thought that you saw Aisling with the glowing orange eyes and the blood-stained blonde hair just because you were stressed or anxious or scared or anything?
Is this over yet? Can I stop being an idiot?
Could have been
No.
seeing things.
No, you
no,
can't.
I mean,
When does
she's
this end? Like,
It-
goddamn.
No, it
When
hurts.
when
It
she
hurts me
hugged
too.
Oh my god!
Her eyes
mean-
glistened with gold.
she seems pretty amazing, but
And that's what I'm saying. Are you sure you weren't seeing things and got spooked?
I
mean-
I'm pretty sure of what I saw.
look, she's pretty amazing, but I mean, we did see that she's not alive. Maybe it's just
Huh?
that. Did not remember that. I mean,
What?
I looked at her with the sight, and she's not alive, but she's awesome. So I don't think she could be the one that's doing it all.
She could be she could be one of the Henri Marv like Maury, and maybe she's just new, or I don't know.
I'm
When does
just
it end? When does
confused.
it end? When does it end? Please, please. Can you save anything?
Mood. It hurts.
I
Please.
while this is going on, I'd like to have sat down next to Listener and kind of like traced a W on its hand, and then see if it'll take my hand, because I'm gonna actually leave him into the hut if possible. Murder 2.
This is very wise. That is the only thing I can actually detect now. Which is,
Yes.
you know, very isolating experience for an Owl.
Does she
Yes.
have to be within range of us to continue this effect? Is it like church?
I can't really answer that.
No secret knowledge allowed.
So-
You believe things.
So we can't try to get out of it.
Church, what about a possibility of trying to marry up the information from what he saw before he got, you know, charmed by her, whatever, and afterwards trying to marry up the information, because obviously there's got to be some kind of dissonance there in some way.
Because people are still trying to like convince us that, hello, wake up. Like,
Well, the thing is that even with, like, I think we've realized all of this and, like, married up the information before, like, she put the charm on us, but, like, even with all the information that we did have, like, with the charm dropped on us, we're just like, Nah, that can't be Aisling. How silly to even think that. So I don't think it'll necessarily help to break the mental effect.
Yeah,
But
keep in
out
mind.
out of character comment though, all of us going back to Hammerspark is a great opportunity for listener and Az to, tell Jorgen what's going on.
True.
Yeah,
It's
and
also a
keep
great
in mind your.
opportunity for Aisling to go on a fucking rampage because somebody just let her walk around the city unattended.
Well, it's not like you
It's
could
more
stop her.
supporting evidence.
I mean, Saoirse could have gone for the walk with her.
Well,
She offered.
That's all we got.
And
Minor victories, I guess.
I heard that little
Eventually-
bit of trepidation in your voice there. No, I'm okay, thanks.
Eventually,
That was
if it
great.
wears off, we will probably have information that'll suddenly start making sense. Right now, there's just some confusing things that have happened.
And
Yeah.
Azdruzhar just sounds like a crazy elf, like
Unfortunately.
usual. Like,
Like, yeah, I know my
who's gonna suspect that? Like, the crazy elf is talking nonsense again. Like,
I know out of
unreli-
character
unreliable witness here.
my character wouldn't know to ask if it's ending, but like I just want to be sure I'm playing it accurately. Like it's still up, right?
No, yeah, I will let you
Okay.
know. I'll let you know it.
Okay. Yeah, that way I can play the phasing out and then me realizing that this has happened to me again.
Yeah.
And
No.
Jorgen, though, Jorgen would, really believe listener, and listener can actually show Jorgen the things that he saw.
When he recovers.
Listener is in the hole for, was it 10 rounds, Wilhelm?
Let me check.
Which is about a minute.
Yeah.
That's the thing, too. And actually, you might know this. Genesis might know this. I don't know if you'd have known which powder he used, but Wilhelm definitely knew the fact that Listener just cut himself off for some reason. And that itself is very strange. Hence the reason he's trying to get him to the hut. You might also, the existence of this powder. I don't know if you'd recognize it, but you would probably know that he did this.
I mean,
Yeah, at the very least, Genesis would have felt the thought stream go down because Listener went dark.
I know what going dark looks like at the very least, I'm just kind of puzzled because Genesis is like, why would you
do this to such a nice lady?
I mean, what happened to you? You were reasonable 1 second and you were just going off.
Then Saoirse's like, can't we all just get along? Ooh.
Ew. So, you guys make your way back, as planned, to Hammerspark. Back in, kind of leading as you start kind of getting your wind back as you get there. Listener, you start kind of seeing bits of light, and your senses start coming back as you go in.
Well,
The rest of
wanted
you,
what-
as you enter into Hammerspark.
Church,
What?
like I said, I wanted to actually get him into murder too until Listener got his sight back.
Oh, you're just gonna keep him there?
Yeah, I wanted to keep him until it regained its senses.
All right. Like I said, it's about a minute.
Okay.
I'd like to swing by the coiled spring on my way back. I'll separate, do it alone.
Okay. I like separating.
I don't.
Fine. I'm just gonna sneak off. I want to talk to the merchant at the coiled spring real quick before heading back into Hammerspark.
I don't
Was there something you wanted specifically?
foresee that going.
Specifically, I wanted the merchant to make these shackles look more magnificent and beautiful, like fancy bracelets. but retain the dampening effect.
I don't know that they'd be able to do that.
You wouldn't be able to do that? That's
those
unfortunate.
Those are arcane.
They are quite fancy.
Yeah,
People don't do that
They
anymore.
don't.
Really.
Yeah.
Oh god, the
you-
arcane cups and the lady that was fully arcane. Oh my god.
Yeah. You hand that man that merchant an arcane device, and they might have you arrested.
Yeah.
Oh, so the craftspeople are all gone.
The arcane ones? Yeah, not in
No.
most civilized places. No, you're not gonna find that.
This world is disappointing. Can I go back into the wall?
Okay, go back into the wall.
I'll make my way into Hammerspark, and I'll thank the kind merchant for his discretion.
Okay.
As out here facing off against eldritch vampires, his only backup is a plant. I miss the wall.
I missed the wall. So, here's the thing. You guys kind of get your senses back together. As you pass the gate of Hammerspark, those of you who were hit by the domination feel like you're moving out of a dream. It's almost like some mental scab gets peeled off. And your awareness kind of just bleeds out from that wound. And it's uncomfortable. You feel dirty. Like somebody has taken something from you, or you feel like uncomfortable with it. Somebody changed your perception forcibly, and you can feel it. You definitely are aware now of what's happened, that Aisling did that to you. The moment you pass through that gate, this happens.
Saoirse is going to start weeping silently.
Oh, is Jorgen up at the high chair?
Yeah.
Do I have my senses back?
Yeah, they're back.
Alright, I grab Az and I drag him up towards the front with me.
Alright.
What are we doing, outside voice?
We must explain and beg forgiveness.
I've done nothing wrong.
Saoirse will walk
All
up
of
to
us.
Saoirse will walk up to Listener and say, "Listener, what are you doing?"
We have brought a terrible evil to their home. Anyways, I get up to Jorgen and I try and raise him over my connection.
He looks at
I'll
you.
try and grab his attention.
He-
Say, brave Jorgen.
Oh, he's got his attention on you the moment you walk up.
Yeah.
Good. I
Saoirse-
command attention.
Saoirse will come along with the two.
Same. I'm going with as well.
Yeah, like now that we have our awareness back, yeah.
All right. Yeah, so he stares down at you grimly, and just waits for whatever it is. Genesis.
Great Sir Jorgen, forgive us, for we have brought a great evil to your home. A practitioner of the dark magics, the dark ways, exiled in times of old, mistakenly rescued by naive adventurers.
Explain yourself.
I send him the necessary images, and I say, the blonde one, with no mind behind her eyes. She is a terrible beast, and is feeding upon your people.
All right. So,
Yeah.
no sooner do you push those images to him, that he stands up, full attention, just bristling, angry, and immediately begins barking orders at commands, and you just see like aides and guards and messengers beginning to shoot out and organize to do a full sweep of the city, looking for her. Like, you see, like, the big guns coming out, the glassers are being called out, or he says something, you hear the words the Black Hand thrown around a couple times, though you're not really sure what that means.
I deploy the necessary warnings. She has turned the minds of my friends. She commands animals. She has incredible strength. To touch her drains your life.
She threw me like a rag doll.
I feel like that would be in the images listener sent Jorgen.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. I wanted to make it clear.
But yeah, no,
Preserve an old warrior's dignity.
what you're seeing is an abject and perfect example of Hyverstedian efficiency. Like, he didn't waste any time. He got the information. He seeded it out to the necessary people. They organized their groups, and their teams are already out on the prowl, working in a grid format to cover the entire city. It's a, for Uki, I imagine it's almost a proud moment, seeing her people work efficiently as they do. But he finishes that. He sits down heavily in his chair, kind of starts rubbing his temple. And then he looks at you, Uki. And you can tell he's mulling things around in his head, unhappily.
Saoirse will just, like, she notices this going on, and, like, she'll pipe up and say, in all fairness, we didn't know. There's no way we could have known.
I mean, we could have known. How many normal face Shanications do you see these days?
There's a lot of strangeness out in Cairne. Even
Not that strange.
there are good undead out in Cairne. We met one, like Mori, one of the Henri Marv. I thought that maybe she was something of that nature. I didn't know. She didn't present any danger to us. At least, not immediately.
Privately to Jorgen. Listener says, had I brought such a beast to the isles of my people, I would already be ashes upon the ground. I am at your service and upon your mercy. Just completely, like, you know. Yeah, listener thinks of the Hyverstedians as being a little bit more like the Ogham than most of the other species here.
Could see that.
In a sense, they have as close as the organics can come to a sense of selflessness before the collective. So he's thinking in those terms right now. He said, if I had walked up to the point of inception with that thing in tow, I would have been obliterated at the border.
Question though.
By a psychic blast. So he's just saying, well, let's see if I'm obliterated. In the meantime, perhaps I may serve.
That's fair.
Question though, in the lore for the Ogham, isn't it like forbidden to let a mentalist into the psychic stream or something?
Into the collective thought stream, but mine is but a pale imitation.
He no longer has access to the collective thought stream.
Okay, okay, so that didn't happen. Cool.
Yes.
So he stands up And you can tell, like, he's really, really chewing on some things in his head. And he walks up. He's still kind of laser focused on Uki. And he walks up and stands in front of Uki, kind of glowering at her. Uki? Still with us? Snax?
Yeah, I've been here.
Oh, sorry.
I've been here the whole time. I've tried. Yeah.
So he's standing in front of you, kind of glowering. He looks like he's waiting for you to say something.
Well, as I stated when we arrived, there was one amongst us who had not been with us. I apologize for perhaps not speaking out and saying not to dismiss the guards on that, and I regret that. Because I questioned that, but I did not want to question your judgment.
Uki, you've always been loyal and dependable. You've always come through when I needed you. And as disappointing as this is, as a leader, I cannot put the blame on you. I played as much a role in this as you did. Hell, as they did. He points to the rest of the group.
Saoirse nods in solemn agreement.
But at the same time...
Well, in all fairness, I must, in honesty, I must say that it was I who first encountered this creature on an island, and we made a choice, and I could have turned my back. But are we not to protect those who are weak, young, and elderly? And I fell victim to this creature's guile.
Uki, I was the one who recommended inviting her on board and to travel with us after I talked to her, so you're not entirely blameless. Or you're not entirely to blame, Uki. A lot of us, all of us, could have at any point said no. But if you hold a lot of the blame, then I hold just as much blame as you do in this.
Well, the fact of the matter remains. The Fusiliers and the Glassers and the Hand will find her if she still remains within the walls. She won't get past them. If nothing else, will overwhelm her with sheer numbers. However, as it stands right now, all of you, Uki, and I are responsible for the lives that were lost on our watch. And I can think of no better way for that life debt to be repaid than for you to complete the journey that you got here pursuing. I've had a great long while to think about what you've told me, about your journey and your purpose. And I've had the historians counsel me on previous similar occurrences, what information we do have on them. I will open the way if you ask it, Uki. I will open the way into Underhome as a potential way to reach your destination should you choose it. Or if you prefer, I will resupply that weird little craft you rode up here on. Whatever you need, you have the support of Stonebridge.
I thank you for that. That is very generous in light of the current situation, but I'd be remiss not to offer our services in completing the capture of this individual. Would you think it not best that we are to support? I have full confidence and faith in our military as all, but we wouldn't want to leave too soon if it meant more lives would be lost of our sisters and of our brethren, of our mothers, our fathers.
I believe I have a little more insight on this creature than you might think. Based upon what you've told me, we've been warned of similar dangers in the past. Our intelligence has a large black spot in the south with rumors of similar creatures. I think that this is beyond you, and I would not throw your lives away so carelessly. But as a noble Hyverstedian, should you choose to pursue this action as a matter of honor, I will not stand in your way.
Understood. If I might take some time to speak with the rest of my colleagues here, in regards to what path we want to pursue, whether we will, whether we would like to go through the kingdom of Underhome. Personally, I would much rather be not be back in that vessel. I'd rather be in something a little more not within that water, but that's a discussion for the group to have.
By all means. Please sit at the fire, eat your fill, drink, discuss. Don't feel pressured or rushed, but at the same time, do not dally further than you need to.
Understood. Thank you. All are equal under the blade.
All are equal under the blade.
Saoirse will give a very deep bow to Jorgen.
He'll nod in return, offer you guys a salute of his class, and turn to sit thoughtfully upon his seat.
Out of character, things went exactly as I hoped they would.
Every one of those soldiers he just sent after her is dead.
They're dead. They're all dead.
They're all dead. It just hasn't happened yet.
Oh, that was a lot.
Yeah.
We can't just cut and run.
Well, that's a discussion I will leave to you guys. Definitely. I won't interfere with your decision. I am curious to see where you go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, do you guys want to sit here in Hammerspark in the hall and discuss it, or?
That seems better, yeah.
Okay. It's warm. There's food.
Not as dangerous in here.
Yeah. Very true. So you guys discuss for 1 sec. I will be right back. Give me just a second.
Okay. Saoirse is going to pipe up and say, I don't really want to intervene and, intercept with your duties as a Hyverstedian, Uki, or interpret Jorgen's words for him, but it did really seem like he wanted you to come with us and complete the mission first and foremost, more than anything. it sounded like he wanted you to make that your first priority, especially after we first came here, and we told him the news of Chilele, and he said he wanted you to complete this for her. You may be best to continue on our journey to the domes of the Shining Eyes. Staying here might get even more dangerous for us.
If I may, obviously she is extremely intelligent and has survived for a very long time. I don't think she's gonna stay here. It doesn't make sense. Now that she knows her best things was being able to hide, I think that, honestly, I don't know if they're gonna find her. It just makes sense that she would leave. She's been found out.
I'm back, sorry.
Move along.
But she's so dangerous, though, is the thing. I'm worried about what she could do to the Hyversidian forces, even as good as they are. She's just so powerful on top of being intelligent.
She is.
Powerful. She's not powerful. She's an abomination. She's an affront to the weave.
She's an abomination that survived.
Well,
Lots of abominations survive. That's one of their drives. So
it is more.
The urge to survive and move for the next day, the next kill. She's just a beast with a pretty skin. We have to put it down before we leave.
I think the Hyversidian army might have that covered.
It might be that she may have recognized in her time here that she's going to more than meet her match after the atrocities that she has completed. So it's possibly more likely that she will move on, and were we to stay, there may be more innocents outside these walls who would suffer. So is it more likely that we'll encounter her again? Because how long had she been with us? She hadn't appeared to have had a need for a very long time to do what she did.
She was with us for 2 to 3 days. 2 days.
On a separate note, I believe we should, I hate to say this, but I don't believe the Orti is the best. From my understanding, these things need to be invited, and we've invited her to the Orti. So there's nothing stopping her from trying to get back in it.
Well, and my understanding is that we don't have to necessarily, from what Jorgen said, is we don't actually have to go back on the Orti, but there is another passage he will open for us into Underhome. That may be a better route to get to the Domes of the Shining Eyes.
Well, if we invited her in, we could always uninvite her. The thing is, I think the Orti would be the best option because the Domes of the Shining Eyes are under the water, and the Orti is a submersible craft. That would be the most direct route to get there, and we would be in relative safety until we could get into the dome that we need for whatever the next step of the prophecy is.
You back, Church?
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Okay.
Sorry.
I wanna do this before I lose my time to do it.
The retrocognition? What are you doing it on?
Recent events.
Into a person or place's recent past? So what person or place?
My recent past.
Okay, what are you trying to... Your recent past? Do you feel like you've missed something?
That's not well, yes and no.
So
There's
is this because of the domination? Are you trying to look back and see it with unclouded eyes? Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not really to glean anything, which, if there's something that we missed and it happens to be in this, then that's great. But right now, this character, the backstory that we came up with in particular, and this is disquieting in a number of ways, because here we are again. So she's feeling the I can hear myself on the stream, and I hate that so much. 1 second, let me just mute. Yeah. So she can feel the winds of the high rooftop across her face.
Yeah.
Once again, hypothetically, and is trying desperately to pull it together and not think about that. So we're just looking back at it and be like, okay, we've got to figure out why we've fallen prey to this once more time.
So since you're dealing with something fairly unique, and when I say fairly unique, I mean there's a lot of custom creation that went into this creature. I want you to give me an intelligence save as you do this. Don't worry, it's nothing that's gonna kill you or anything.
We're a hair's breadth away from a breakdown right now. This is fine. Yeah.
All right. So you're sitting there obscured as you are. They're all kind of talking and doing their thing. You're almost, outside of notice because of the ability you're using. You begin to kind of weave your consciousness backwards in time, kind of going over the recent events and seeing them through unclouded eyes. And the first thing you notice as you're going back is the manipulation. You see it. You see how she tried to kind of pull Az, and how she's been working Saoirse's, openness to her people and her culture, and you see it. You see it. You peel it back, and you see the moment where that ripple through the party line went out, and everybody kind of got torn out of their minds and into her web. It becomes painfully apparent, but you see it. You see it. Right? You okay there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but you see it. One thing
I'm trying to provide the audio of what my character's doing.
Oh,
right
okay.
now. Like,
No, it was very believable. I was getting worried for you. One thing that does happen, as you reach the end of that retrocognitive tether, before you get pulled back, right?
Yep.
We'll say you make it right to about the point where you guys come up on Murder House 2, right? When everyone's still kind of hunky-dory, a little suspicious here and there, but hunky-dory. Mm-hmm. Just as you reach the end of that cognitive tether, the memory of Aisling pauses and looks at you, dead in the eyes, and you see just her face shift her eyes go dull and like blood begins to seep from her eyes and around her lips, and she smiles and she says something directly to you. Here. I'll show this to everybody. In Shonakesian,
Terrible.
she says, Akushle Makri. And then you snap back in a quick rewind and almost like jerk back into yourself. I know your character doesn't speak Shonakesian, so you're not entirely sure what she said, but you remember the words Akushle Makri.
I know the sounds, but I don't know how to spell that. Okay. Yep.
So yeah.
What? It's fine. It's Irish. You just sound it out. I'm sure it's got like a W.
Oh, no. I'm gonna take a second and get some separation from this. And
replace
then,
each vowel sound
Yeah,
with 4
yeah.
more vowels. You're good.
because I was actually crying. One second.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have written that backstory.
No.
I regret that decision.
It's all good. It's all good. Should we take our break? Do you need us to take our break?
Oh, that would be great
It
time
is
for
time.
that, because I
Yeah.
swear.
Let's
do
do
that.
it.
All right, yes. No, we're fine. It's great. This is
I
storytelling.
can use
and
some tea anyways.
definitely storytelling.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsors, which I will give as soon as we get back. I promise. Stay tuned. Boom. And we're back. All right. So real quick, let me do this so I don't forget. We're gonna do these sponsors real quick. First of all, look, I'm typing because we are. Oh my God! Hopefully I can spell it. Jesus. I did it. So yeah, first shout out to Found Familiar Coffee. We're all drinking caffeine right now, most likely. If you're not, probably should be. This is one of the best places to get it. Gaming themed coffees and I believe teas as well. Make sure you use code Featherfall at checkout for 10% off. Of course, let's not forget Skull Splitter. There is no L-O in that. Jesus. Skull Splitter dice, metal dice you can put in a bag and beat your players with about the neck and face. Everybody loves it except the player getting beat. Make sure you use code Featherfall for a 10% discount at checkout as well. And without further ado, let's get back to the game. Alright, so welcome back everybody. When we left off, we were doing some retrocognition that ended with the face on your screen and a quick quip in the Shanakesian tongue, Akushli Makri, before Genesis snapped back into the present, very upset. We'll pick up from there. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Pressure.
And action.
I'm just gonna sit here, unseen by most people here, and just chill.
Okay. And everybody else?
Listener's been sitting, quietly contemplating the magnitude of what they have done.
Yeah, last thing that was said to the group was Saoirse making the argument to why we should take the Orti versus Underhome.
I think I would rather wait until we get like underway either way to start talking about what I saw and such.
Belethir doesn't want to seem too keen to be like pushing people for going the Underhome route.
I don't
You know.
care what we do.
The Orti
I'm
is
just
not
along for
safe,
the ride.
but no place is safe from a creature such as this. We have done a terrible thing, and the consequences of our actions will follow us. But that does not mean that we cannot proceed.
Interestingly, whenever we went into Hammerspark, that's when Ashley had no power over us anymore. Would it be that she has to be invited into a place every single time? And that if we went back to the Orti, she wouldn't be able to enter?
The hell of a risk.
I would trust no guesses when it comes to this creature.
I think the Orti might be safer. On the whole.
I simply would not worry about it.
She did really like you, Saoirse. I mean, she really wanted to go for a walk with you.
Yeah, nah.
You say no to that nice lady?
Hey, we're not under a spell anymore.
That's right, but she was still nice. Sometimes.
Well, she got what she wanted. She was nice.
Oh, that's the loophole.
Exactly.
was gonna make a joke about an ex, but so you guys are discussing kind of where to go from here. TBJ, oh my god. You are once again my favorite person. Not that you ever weren't. Welcome everybody. We got raided with a party of 22. Say hi everybody.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
We've just
Awesome.
accidentally unleashed an ancient vampire upon an unsuspecting, though heavily militarized city.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. She's only killed like 3 people
Only three
Three.
people so far.
that you know of.
What? I thought it was 2.
Yeah, it's
Where's the
2 that
third
we
one?
know of.
No, there
No,
were
it was Murder
the
House
pair in the
1 and
second
then the
house.
couple in the second.
Oh,
one.
yeah,
There
yeah.
was 2 people in the second one. I got it.
She did get the husband and wife in the second house.
Yeah, alright.
We're
I thought there might have been a third one already, and we've only been sitting here for 5 minutes. She works quick. How many of these soldiers has she dispatched already?
But considering how quick she threw you across the street into a wall,
Yeah, into a wall. That was unpleasant.
a lesser person she might just tear in half.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't think we're getting out of here. I think
I don't
we still have to stay and help.
I don't have a Pro DM headband. Let me see if I can fashion one. I'm gonna fashion one while we play here. See this is the Pro DM move right here. I hope you're watching. This you're about to
improvise.
see. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Right? Alright, almost got this. Hang tight. Here we go. Oh yeah, here we go. Doesn't fit around. Hang on. I gotta go underneath the headphones. There we go. Look at that. Yeah.
Hey, it works.
What's up? What's up? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Cable straps. Oh, I got one more here? No, that one's attached. Never mind. Okay, so DM headband is a go. So you guys are trying to discuss whether to take the underwater submersible, the Orti, which carried you here through so much thick and thin. But the question that remains is, now that Aisling, the antediluvian insane vampire, has been invited aboard by you, can she just come and go as she pleases? Whereas the alternative option, mentioned by Jorgen Panuk, the leader of the Hyverstedians here in Stonebridge, was to open the way to Underhome, the dwarven, remnants of their empire below, and use it, hopefully, to make your way to the domes of the Shining Eyes on the bottom of the ocean.
I don't think opening a passage into their, sanctum for a being that can move like the Flash is a great idea.
Well, it depends.
Yeah. So
So
we've been
Aisling,
proceeding with the Ortiz so far, but
I
do
will
we
say
have
that
any- yeah,
it's
go on.
important to keep in mind that Aisling is not stupid. She's very intelligent. And your characters, for the most part, are intelligent enough to pick up on the fact that everything she's done has been for a purpose. Like a pre-planned purpose. There was no randomness in her actions.
So she wouldn't just follow us back into the Orti for no reason.
Yeah. Unless she had a reason.
Right.
I think that's the big unknown, is you're not sure what her reasons could or could not be.
Yeah, I feel like we know the Orti better than we know the inner sanctum of the. I mean,
Most
Plus-
of you have never been into Underhome, so.
yeah.
And navigating unknown, territory, we're safer doing so in the Orti, more or less.
Although
And at
you-
least doing it in the Orti, we have a more or less straight shot to the domes of the Shining Eyes, and we can get there faster.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. Which sounds almost mean to say. But yes, hopefully.
But yeah, in character and out of character, I think that our best bet is going to be going by Orti.
So, is there a consensus on whether or not to leave Aisling alone or go after her?
Listeners firmly convinced that we cannot fight her.
Saoirse is as well. Saoirse's opinion is we should get out of here. And she made the point that Jorgen seemed very adamant that Uki should make this mission her first priority.
Okay.
I think this is one of the first times we're seeing Belethir's face, though, right? Like, unless this is just for the stream.
Oh,
It's not.
yeah. I think he was on there last time.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Worth noting, though, listener does know how to hold a grudge. It's got
Nice.
that Owen patience.
You mean like instead of impatience, is own patience?
Yes, it's the
Oh.
very opposite. It's just like,
Own patience.
I'll get around to this 150 years from now.
Own patience. So, here's something to consider too, if it matters. But I love playing devil's advocate. I believe you all have access to the world map.
Yeah.
So if you look at the shot from Stonebridge to the domes of the Shining Eyes, right? It's a little bit shorter than the shot from Nether's Deep to Stonebridge. And you're going deep into forgotten territories, deep into void-drenched waters, probably deeper than you've been if you go through the water. Which means that there will be more danger. It will be more lethal if you come in contact with the water, the deeper towards the Shanakesian Isles you get. Just because the water gets more concentrated and toxic.
Yeah, but we will be in an armored vessel the entire time, if everything goes right for us, knock on wood. And the only time we would really, potentially have to get out is to go in suits to, do whatever we need to do for the Somnambulist prophecy whenever we get into the Domes of the Shining Eyes. Out of character, I don't think the, Foivanian dwarves of Grundhome, or of Underhome, have actually reached the Domes of the Shining Eyes, from the surface, and they're still, beating back the blight from within their tunnels, so,
out of character they have.
Oh, okay.
They know where they are. They actually have a small group of specialists stationed not far away from there.
Oh, okay. I thought I remember reading in your source material that, they were trying but hadn't.
They hadn't
yet.
gone into the domes.
Okay.
No, they haven't gone into them, but I mean, you're going into them either way, right?
Yeah.
How big are these tunnels? Because maybe we could bring the Orti in through there, through the tunnels,
Probably not.
Never mind.
It doesn't do so good on land anyway, really. If you remember.
Another thing, too, is I don't exactly want us to lose the Orti as a resource. It's so fantastic.
It is pretty cool.
If I may, we do have the things that were out there already. Remember, when we came in, we were under attack.
Yes, we must sail through the Black Fleet.
So
I'm sure that'll be
whether that was due to them knowing something we didn't, or not. I'm not sure.
That was an above surface attack. I don't know how deep the water was where we were going, or before we reached shore, but I mean, you know.
Yeah. Remember, you guys never really, because you were skirting land masses and the wreckage piles, so you never really got too terribly deep.
Yes.
Right. But where we'll be heading, I feel like we'll be hitting deep water pretty quickly, and we won't have to deal with above surface threats for all that long. Is what I'm thinking.
By the time you hit the Bay of Glass, you're going deep. You're going real deep. Deeper than you've been. Which probably sounded ominous.
Yeah, and that is not far. We won't be skirting land masses out there.
There's still some dangers out there in the water.
Yeah, but we'll be in an armored vehicle.
Oh yeah, and I'm good either way. Believe me. I mean, there's dangers no matter which way you go.
Yeah. I'm just making the case for my fellow players for we should go for the Yortie.
All right. Well, why don't you guys put it up to a vote?
Okay.
Should we just let a vote decide?
Sure.
Seems fair.
All right. So here, well, I'm going to go down the list, and we'll just get everyone's vote. Okay. I'll hold up this hand for Orti, and this hand for Underhome. Okay. So as you're first.
I choose left.
Left. Okay. So
His
Orti.
left or your left?
I don't know. Whatever 2 is.
Well, if it's my
Underhome,
left,
you mean?
if it's my left, it's Orti.
I just choose general left. I'm not.
Okay.
Choose actual make an actual choice, please.
No, I don't want to make a choice. I don't.
This is a game about making choices. That's Dungeons and Dragons. It's a game about making choices.
Yeah, it is, but. I don't
It's
wanna
also a
go
game
for-
about rolling dice, and dice were
I
rolled.
roll
So
dice
here
to
you go.
choose. That's not what
No, that's fine.
choices in Dungeons and Dragons.
All right. So that's one for Orti. All right. Genesis.
Well, I think that my character is going to choose the Orti because of the safety of it, perceived safety. Obviously, it's not actually safer, but yeah.
2 for Orti. All right. Belethir.
Well, I don't think I should really have a choice. I'm just hanging around with you guys,
Right. It's your life on the line too.
But, I mean, obviously, my mentor went down into Underhome at some point, so I'd kind of like to go down that way.
All right. So that's 1 for Underhome. Listener.
I would vote for Underhome. We've seen a lot of the ocean floor. I'd like to see some new stuff.
All right. 2 for Underhome. Saoirse.
Orti.
3 for Orti. Uki.
Under home, I have, we have relationships with the Favinians, the dwarves there. So,
Which leaves us.
and also because Jorgen said he would actually open that passage to us, which is pretty ostentatious.
Which leaves us at a direct tie with a tiebreaker resting its laurels on the head of Wilhelm.
Oh.
Did we ask listener?
Yeah, I voted Underhome.
Oh, okay, good.
Wilhelm,
Yeah,
it's your decision.
here we go.
Where are we going? No pressure. Did he? He's like, I'm out.
Oh. Oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh no!
He may have been having audio problems. Welcome back.
There he is.
My mic stopped working.
We figured, but it was very funny anyways.
This is a very convenient timing.
Perfect timing.
But also, what's funnier is I've been defending Underhome the whole time.
Under home.
Oh, so do we have a decision? Is it under
I
home?
believe so.
All right then.
Yes.
The die is
Yeah,
cast.
right.
Your fates are sealed. I mean, decision has been made.
All right, let's make sure we have all of our shit out of the orty.
Okay. So we're getting ready for an underground excursion into the depths of the lost kingdom of the dwarves Underhome. Still under siege by the forces of the Blight itself and held in check by a ragtag nation of warriors who fight eternally to hold the tide of darkness at bay. So gather your things, and we'll start plotting that excursion. Sorry, that sounded a lot more evil than I meant for it to.
Okay, well.
He was gonna do that either way.
I was.
It's the
I
evil
was.
laugh.
There was not a fork in the road that went through a green and pleasant land.
No, actually, we skipped that over a long time ago when you went through the commonage.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is too nice. We can't have that.
If we have a minute while we're getting stuff off the ORT, Genesis would like to ask Saoirse about
Saoirse. You were right the
Saoirse.
first time.
about the Kushle McCree
Uh-huh.
phrase.
Okay. Go ahead.
Saoirse will, and you just asked her what the phrase meant. No other context.
Yes.
Saoirse is going to say, well, that translates into the common tongue as a pulse of my heart is a common Shanakesian term of endearment. Where'd you hear that from?
From the haunting, bleeding eyes of Ashling as I looked back on recent events.
Oh dear.
She seemed to see me. This doesn't happen often.
Saoirse's just going to close her eyes and take a deep breath in, worried. She looks very worried and also just very kind of sad and defeated at this point.
She's had a rough run with her own people.
Her own people in air quotes. Can Ashling really be considered her own people at this point? She may have been at one time, but her allegiances are elsewhere now.
Oh no, I just mean in general. Like every other Shanakesian you've met so far has been like either a burnt crow or twisted somehow, or
Yeah, it's like the burnt crows that tried to steal her away. The burnt crow who she didn't really get along with, though she tried, and then Shanakesian who turned into a vampire.
she was very nice up until people got mean to her.
She was very nice as long as she got what she wanted.
Listener was just a bully.
I was always nice to her.
She instigated.
She did. She started it.
She was gonna take you to see the Queen.
Yeah, she was. But that's not how I get back to the Queen.
That's fair.
Of course, she needs a traveling snack. You're the equivalent of living beef jerky.
Oh no.
A Capri Sun. So,
yeah, more like a Capri Sun.
Capri Sun. So, now, gathering supplies, I won't bore you and everyone watching at home with a big shopping session right now. We know what you have on the Ortiz supply-wise. I know you guys have a list of that. Anything you need basic gear-wise will be provided by Jorgen. So...
Such a nice guy.
Before we go, I have questions.
Okay.
When we were doing, when I was doing the evaluation of the staff from the King of Ash and Bone, it was told to me that it would cause earthquakes, sort of,
Potentially.
at a cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to be magically inclined to attune to that, right?
No,
Okay.
not necessarily, no.
Dwarves would know most about how to cause an earthquake that wouldn't cause structural damage, right?
No. No,
Okay.
dwarves don't know how to cause earthquakes. Aside from, hitting structurally unsound chunks of wall and bringing caves down.
So if I wished for this thing to be used in the safest manner, whose hands would I put it in?
Well, I mean, that's a tough question. What you have is an arcane artifact, basically. A relic. It would catch a very sublime price at the Hall of Fireflies, and any arcanist would be more than thrilled to have it.
But they don't really do the arcane, right? Like you were saying for the
The dwarves?
right.
In general, no. No.
Okay.
No, and especially not the Foivenians. I mean, think of the life they lead and what caused it. They're not real keen on magic.
True.
But yeah, any arcanist would love to have something like that because it gives them a focus. Especially moving into the newer systems, things like that will be huge.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep considering this and
Okay.
as we head into the tunnels,
So one thing I do want you guys to keep in mind going forward, since you're going to be on foot. We haven't been on foot for a long excursion in a while. Supplies are going to be paramount of importance as going forward, as you're down here. You can only have what you can carry, realistically. So do keep that in mind. Some of these spaces are going to be small and tight. Another thing to keep in mind. So potable water and food, of course, are going to be primary concerns. I know you have a means for water, thanks to your arcane abilities, as long as nobody sees you do it. Food's going to be a big deal. There are ways to get food down there still. If any
we
of
need
you
to start dividing up the rations that we found on that other island before we head out, and make sure that we get everything that Wilhelm can use with us.
But I know that Jorgen will not let us leave without being well provisioned.
No, well, he'll provide anything you need within reason.
Now's the time for us to ask how Archibald is doing.
Archie? He's still
Our carrier ant and the phoenix.
they're still corralled up.
Can we bring them with us? Please say yes.
The phoenix would not do well underground.
No. Archibald might do fine, actually.
Yeah.
Let's bring Archibald.
Archie would be in his natural element.
Let's go.
To a point.
Well, but We'll have access to clean water though when we're in Grunholm as well, though.
Well, we always have access to clean water as long as I've got some time to work with it.
Yeah,
And-
let's bring,
Yeah,
let's
no,
bring the
I'm-
carrier ant for the padding of weight capacity because we're gonna need it.
So, here's one thing I want you to keep in mind with Archibald. Okay. You can bring him, and he would do fine underground, obviously. You are potentially going to run into tight spots where Archie will not fit. And if that happens, you're going to be faced with a choice of leaving him behind or going and finding another way around, which could take you into severely harm's way, or there may not be one, depending on where you go. And also, bringing Archie with you, you're going into the throat of danger.
This is where they're fighting the endless blood war, basically, against the Void.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that Archie may not make it. If you
Yeah,
bring him.
There's also a chance if we don't bring him that there's something we needed that we couldn't bring because we couldn't carry it.
Well,
I mean, depends on what we need to bring.
I-
Make a list. Let's all make
Yeah.
a list of stuff we want, and
I-
then see if we need the capacity.
I only throw this out there because I know Archie's dear to the party, and if something happens to him, something happens to him, and I don't want to break your hearts. If I
Yeah,
can
it might
help
be in our best interest to leave Archibald, the Phoenix, and the Orti in the care of the Hyverstedians, and then we can retrieve it whenever this adventure is done.
The Hyverstead, they
That's
will
what
be
you
in
think
good.
is.
If you leave them, they'll be in good care. It's up to you. I'm not saying you can't.
I mean, my abilities are from my mind, so
Yeah.
I don't need to carry a bunch of shit.
Which means
Yeah.
you can
But
carry
we
stuff
have-
for other people.
But we have food. We have all sorts of other stuff. We have Wilhelm's medical supplies. If he can't carry all those, you know.
So yeah,
Anybody else?
I can find food for people.
All right. We'll carry what we've got and we'll forage. And I want to specify that Genesis is bringing everything that no one else can carry. Like,
okay.
Yeah, Saoirse, the only things that would be important for her to carry are the extant like pre-blight Shawnekeesian garments that she found, the 3 bottles of Shawnekeesian brandy, the key for the Somnambulist prophecy, because obviously, and all of her instruments, and the instruments are what's going to take up the biggest amount of bulk. Because she has like 2 violins, a glass flute or a crystal flute, the celestial harmonium, that weird stringed instrument that's important to the prophecy, and the weird rack, which is like bagpipes.
trust me with the stuff that isn't like important, like crucially important, right? Like I'll carry this big hefty drum, right?
She doesn't have a drum, so
Okay, so you just ham bone everything?
She
yeah,
does.
she ham bones everything.
All right, jeez. All right, let me put this back away then.
She rocks some
Jeez.
ham bone. So, another thing to keep in mind, I think this is probably the simplest way to do this, at least for now,
Right.
is I will make available to you through Jorgen, anybody who wants one, basically what it comes in a Dungeoneer's pack, which is just a backpack, a crowbar, a hammer, 10 pitons, some torches, a tinderbox, iron rations, a water skin, and 50 foot of rope.
Sounds good.
So, anybody who wants or needs one, I'll provide.
I would definitely like to get one of those.
She'll take like Saoirse will take like half of a Dungeoneer's pack. She doesn't necessarily need the crowbar and tools and all that, but she'll take things like the rations and the rope.
Sure, there's no problem. And I think that'll simplify things a little bit. None of you are knowledgeable in terms of spelunking. I don't think. Uki might have some knowledge of it.
A little bit, being an archaeologist.
Yeah, you're used to delving into deep, dark places.
Yeah, Saoirse's like first and primary concern are her instruments.
Okay.
A lot of them are either like special. Well, all of them are special in one way or one way or another. Some for their rarity, others for their importance.
Okay. Keep in mind, just do me a favor when you get a chance. Figure out how they're packed and how you're carrying them, realistically.
Okay. All right.
And if you need to disperse them, just would keep in mind who's carrying what, just so we have a good list.
All right.
So this is going to be a survival thing once you get moving. You're going to be underground, which is going to be... You're going to want to keep those stones handy for listener.
Yeah,
Phosphorus
I've got some
stones, yeah.
sunstones, phosphor stones, just, the good stuff.
He's gonna
I should
need
have.
that.
I should have one, right? Like I have.
Just fashion them to a bandolier and let them wear them.
I thought I had a phosphorus stone.
I think there's is it 3 of them?
Yeah,
There
there's
are
3.
3, and one of them is a legitimate sunstone rather than just a phosphor stone.
Well, no, the sunstone
Yeah.
makes 4 because we had 3 phosphorus stones and then 1 legitimate sunstone that is listeners / roots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys need to keep that.
Are you guys taking root with you?
There's a question.
I think we have little choice. I'm fairly certain the Hyverstedians can take care of, some pack animals, fond as we are of them. Root's a little different.
A little.
We want him to be safe, though, right? Like,
You can always leave him with the benevolence.
Yeah, that's true. And
he'll
we
definitely
can,
be safe there, at least. I don't know.
And we can like tell the benevolence like, what he needs in terms of like, care, things of that nature.
Heading into the throat of danger. I mean, I'm just saying.
Like baby. Root is a baby, so.
Just a little baby. Poor guy's been through a lot already.
Yep, it's true.
They will know how to take care of a plant.
So we're heading underground in an area that's already really cold.
It'll
Yes.
probably get warmer.
Yeah, for now I'm bundled up though,
Alright, so... I assume we're
Ready to go.
content. Here, let me, we'll get Ashling's picture off there. As menacing as that looked. Okay, so... You've gathered your equipment, your gear. We'll say for now, off screen we can work out the physical logistics. We don't have to do that in front of, in the middle of game time, basically, especially since we've only got like about 20 minutes. So you gather up your gear. I assume you go to tell Jorgen that you're ready. Yeah?
Yep.
If you are.
Yep.
Okay. So, he looks you over, kind of pulls on your straps and checks your gear as a good commander would. He ends in front of Uki, kind of looks down the line at everybody, and back to you, Uki. And he claps you on the shoulders. He kind of stands there just looking at you, dead in the eyes. There's there's a sternness there, but at the same time there's this gentler side that you and maybe very few others might know, as he's always kind of considered you family of a sort, you know. He kind of leans in and says, Uki, you come home. When this is all done, you come home.
Mm.
Did we
Do we lose?
lose Uki?
Snax, you're muted.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm here. I've been
Okay,
here
so-
all night.
sorry. It's all good.
Yeah, you just...
Get quiet.
No, just yeah, I felt a few times, but I think I just must be something wrong. I just
No, you're good. You're good.
I've been overtalked.
It's all good.
Yeah, no, I will.
Good. So he presses a seal into your hand, a sealed document written on vellum. He says, "Give this to the officers at Blightcap. They'll know what to do."
Understood.
Good, good,
I'll make sure that I do that. Do just that.
good. In that case, all are equal under the blade.
All are equal under the blade. I will see you soon, grandfather.
Be sure that you do. With that, he steps back onto the kind of dais where his chair is, crosses his arms, and watches you go, unless anyone has anything else.
Saoirse will give a deep bow to Jorgen and say thank you for your kindness.
He'll nod in return. Alright. So if that's it, then everybody kind of goes on their way, yeah?
Yes. Into the dark.
On you go. So you guys leave out through the gates of Stonebridge. A lot of people stop and kind of give way, watch you go. You know, they're curious. Wow, what's that? They're curious to see you go. The gates swing wide, and first thing that happens, especially for those of you who are unfamiliar and unaware, is you get that blast of like Arctic air as the northern gates open to let you out. Just this icy cold that kind of bites through even your thickest of clothing. You're cut, in the face full of snow and powder from the snow. And you pass through the gates onto the beaten trail, and the gates slam shut behind you. And the first thing that hits you is the quiet, this isolating quiet of just this hush sound of the wind blowing across the ice, the mountains in the distance towering over you, and the singular path that lays ahead. Do you begin?
Yes.
Yes.
So you begin to trudge on. It's not a terrible journey. It's maybe about a half a day's walk. It's not too bad. But it is icy cold, and it is snowing, and it is kind of dark. So by the time you round the bend, the water to the south of you, heading west along the mountain's edge, and you see it in the distance. You guys are exhausted. But yes, standing before you,
Ooh,
Lightcap.
that looks cold as hell.
It is. This construction has stood the test of time. It has stood against multiple assaults from both below and above. It is a mutually guarded location, manned by Foivenian troops as well as Hyverstedian soldiers that stay here in constant rotation. It is one of the major thoroughfares for trade, and one of the only unsealed entrances to Underhome. As you make your way inside, it is actually still cold inside, but out of the wind, so that's a relief, at least.
It always helps.
You're greeted by two Foivenian dwarves. Big, burly guys, and massive armor. Each one of them is carrying a maul. This is huge hammer. It looks like it could probably squash you. They look you up and down suspiciously as you first come in. They do let you in, but they don't let you any further. You got business here?
I believe Uki has this one.
Yes, we are here to make our ways through the passage of Grunholm, and I have this from Jorgen. I am Uki Tulugak of the Hyverstedians, and I hand them the sealed. I show them the sealed document with the kind of like the seal on it of Jorgen's kind of oh gosh, I'm not sure what you call it, but
His crest. Or
basically
whatever.
his mark. Yeah.
All right. So he takes it from you, kind of once again looks you up and down, kind of leans his maul up against the pit of his arm, cradles it, pulls the dagger out, pops the seal, unravels the vellum, and reads it. Shows it to his partner, and they both kind of look up at you. And he rolls it back up and hands it to you. He says, well, you're either well loved or hated. But whatever
Trusted
it
is more like it, but yes.
That sounds right. Well, you're going to definitely want to meet with the low commander before you go further, but according to that, you've got free reign all the way through. Uninhibited, provided you don't breach a line or let something through.
We don't have the greatest track record.
That's not foreshadowing at all.
About that, I do want to ask: have you seen any others attempt to pass this way recently?
Holy shit, she's still getting what she wants.
Who? Ashley? So
That happens when you're a greater power.
he looks at you and says, well, no. I mean, nobody except for the usual patrols and shipments of goods has come through. Nobody wants to go down. At least nobody.
She's
with
just
a
over there like,
sensible mind.
let's get it started. Just doing the run.
But nothing out of the ordinary.
No, nothing to report. Why? Something happened back at Stonebridge?
There's been some incidents, so it is wise that you are being cautious of anyone coming through here.
What should we
I
be
know that
cautious
Jorgen.
of?
Yes, I know that Jorgen would want. You know, we have long been allies, the Hyversetians and the Fivinians, and I think that he would want you to just be aware that we are on high alert at this time. That there are threats from the sea, and there are threats threats unknown. That it is not a time of complacency or triviality.
So, he looks at you questioningly, but Flavinian is used to taking things at face value and accepting orders as they come. Eventually, he shrugs. He kind of nudges his buddy there, and then he juts his jaw back outwards towards the door there. He says, "You passed 2 piles in the snow coming in here. Those are the last ones that tried to breach the walls. We let the snow claim them. Don't worry. Nothing's getting past us. In the meantime, we've got some rather horrible stew cooking in the back, and some of that culvarked swill that we managed to confiscate. I suppose it's better than nothing. They drink about as light as they've gotten up there in the clouds, but..."
Well, here, take this. And she takes a small vessel and gives it to them and says, "This is compliments of my of those that take care of us they took care of us so well when I visited my ancestral home, and I knew that coming up here would be quite a bit of journey, but also thought you might appreciate this." And she gives him a little vessel, essentially like a nice hearty stew that she's kind of kept tucked inside her trappings. So, because the simplest, when you're in these kind of conditions, they don't. These guys, these guards, a hearty meal, a good ale or something is worth more than any of the riches. Those are riches to them. They don't want money. They don't want gold.
Yeah. Well, what type of ale is it? Or is it ale? Is it whiskey?
It's probably something that's a rather a little bit of a nice stout, hearty, that will be as filling as the that will be a bit filling.
Guinness?
Yes, my goodness, yes.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So
A pork chop in every pint.
Nice.
Manly beer you can eat with a spoon. So they'll pop the cork and sniff, take a swig, and pass it to his buddy, and he'll shiver and be like, "Oh, well, you guys just earned the good room for the night. So come on in. Leave your bags by the door. They'll be safe. Don't worry. And welcome to Blightcap, Uki."
Genesis would like to observe this emotion that sweeps over them
Okay.
as they take a swig.
Thank you for your hospitality. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah. The emotion that comes over them it's muddied joy. It's dull contentment. But in contrast to what was normal before it, it's bright.
Yeah, like the taste of home, and then you're like, oh man, I wish I could go back, but I'm out here.
Yeah, they're they're pretty pleased.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an extension of the high, not just the Hyverstedian hospitality, but also the culture, and that is that, everyone is of importance, everyone is valued, and so it is that, there's that respect.
Yeah.
Um, just as we respect, those that are amongst us that aren't Hyverstedians who are, part of our tribe. I say tribe as in part of our community.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. You won some very good brownie points there, which should come into play before you leave in the form of a slight boon. So
I
that'll
would
be
like
good.
to. I want to give them that feeling back when they give us that boon to like cross it with the feeling of the sun on your face,
Okay,
and then just hand that back.
that'll work. That'll definitely work. So, basically, you're led up into one of the mid-tier rooms. The room it's one room, but it's fairly large with its own fire pit in the center. High ceilings, so the smoke can gather and then go out through the upper windows. There are no lower windows, so there is no direct wind blowing in. And there's all kinds of furs all over the place. Some of them are questionable as far as what creature they came from, but given the situation, it's much more comfortable than the stone floor. You are given free reign for a night or two, but beyond that, you kind of get the idea that you probably shouldn't hang around unless you're going to be enlisting to stand guard.
Well, we've got a dime or two to rest up, get our bearings, craft a game plan, so
This is true.
it is the midnight. That is a good place to end it.
I think it is. It is. So, once again, you guys did great. Nobody died.
Hey.
Nobody died. I was worried for a minute there because I know you guys were pushing Ashling for a minute.
I was trying.
Yeah. I thought we were gonna really get into an actual scrap for a second. And, kind of glad we didn't.
Yeah, my plan was to always see if like have Saoirse be like, "Can we stop the fighting? How about we just go back to Hammerspark?" Like, that was my secret plan all along. Jacob didn't know if it'd work or not, but I was just like, I'm just gonna try it, and that would give us, the space to report to Jorgen what was going on, and yeah.
I will say, it went well. You survived. Ashling's in the wind. You don't know if she's coming after you or not. She did really want you, Saoirse.
Yeah, I could tell.
So something that may sit with Saoirse for a bit, if she's aware that she was kind of in that level of danger. But that's up to you. I know Az is probably pretty shook up, getting thrown and beat up by a little girl.
I mean, it's not that it's a little girl.
That was something else. I don't know what that was.
It's okay. She's beefier than she looks. But no, it was very interesting. I feel like we've made some interesting headway. We are definitely on the path to something completely new. This is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very survival oriented. We're going to have to definitely keep an eye on those rations and equipment as we go. That will become a factor, potentially. And you guys know I like to push the survival aspect.
Of course. It'll be very exciting. We'll see a new type of terrain.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Meet a new civilization.
The Foivenians.
Yeah.
They're an interesting bunch. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh,
Brush up on your Australian accent.
yeah. Down under, mate.
Down under. But yeah.
Yeah, just pretend I said something cool. It's fine.
Just wait till they start asking where Kaz is.
About that.
I mean, technically, none of the Favinians knew that he lived.
Yeah, he was a Desolation Strider, to be fair. But no, it's all good. I wouldn't do that to you twice in a row either. I know Uki and I kind of planned the whole Shillelagh thing for a while. Actually, a long while. And that was fun. One of these days we'll get Almond back as a guest star.
Yes.
But that being said, as always, guys, it's fantastic. It always is with you guys.
With you guys.
Let's see. Wednesday, I believe we're back. I can't remember if we're back with Tomb of Annihilation or not with Wednesday. We've missed a couple here. And I know we're getting close to the end. So if you haven't tuned in, you may want to. It's getting interesting. Friday, we might have a rescheduled game coming up for Star Wars.
Friday's Tower, barring absences.
Okay.
Friday we will not be here.
Are we out of town? Oh, that's right. No, Friday might be Yavin, and I might not be there. We're gonna have to work out some scheduling for the Friday games this week in the Discord. Viewers at home, keep your eyes peeled on the Discord if you wish to know what's happening Friday, because we kinda don't.
Yes, a lot of the scheduling has been up in the air a little bit, and we apologize for that, but it's just real life, and, real life first.
And holidays.
And holidays are coming up.
Holidays coming up.
I know we do have I think we have a Brindlewood Bay game coming up for the Christmas season. So Violet's coming back once again. Don't want to miss that. Violet's always so much fun to play. But we will be back next Saturday, I believe, barring anything.
Sigil Confidential.
With Sigil Confidential, which I feel like we've missed one.
We did.
We did. So yeah, we got to get back into the phlogiston.
Yeah.
So definitely stay tuned for that. Just keep up with us on the Discord. Talk to us. Come see us. We're friendly, I promise. We do have a lot of one-shots and short runs coming up. We look to the Discord to recruit for those. Don't want to miss out. We also play video games every now and then. Things like Gloomhaven, Ghostbusters, whatever. It's a good place to find people to play with. If you don't have anyone, come make friends. Pandemic's over, guys. Come be sociable with us because we're all introverts anyway. But we will see you soon. I'm going to try and raid somebody because it's polite and we got raided and it was a lovely feeling. So hopefully this will be too. Let's do some TTK2B. Is that what it is? TT2KB.
Yeah, 2KB. They're playing Void Prime tonight.
Should be interesting then. So let's kick that off. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you and good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, night.
Good night.